ladies and gentlemen, and this is another episode of the Fine Cut podcast. Now, this week, Senor Blanco, Hayden White won't be joining us this week, which is unfortunate, but he should be here again next week in his full spectrum of colours. Now, today we have a buy one, get one free special on guests.
Yeah.
Which one's the free one?
I better take a wild guess.
You want to introduce yourselves? So for me doing it?
Leon, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm Leon Crimes.
So Leon is basically the CEO and co-founder of our small production company, Fade and Kino.
Mm-hmm.
He's an artist and a actor. And a damn good one.
Thank you very much.
I'm Wesley G. I'm the other co-founder and other CEO of Fade and Kino. I'm a screenwriter, director, billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Avid Marvel watcher.
Avid Marvel watcher, huge fan of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I love Iron Man, The Flash, all those guys. And I make shit.
Animator?
Animator as well. I animate. I create life.
Music.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, how can you forget that? You got a guitar in the background. You have no excuse.
Got my fucking thing right here.
What is that?
What is it? Have you ever seen this?
No, what is that? That's cool.
It's fucking cool. Sorry. It's cool as heck. Right.
Wait. Clip that as the intro.
That's enough. That's enough.
For this episode.
Note to Hayden.
Yeah, Hayden, use that at the beginning.
Hayden, can you do us a favor and please segment that gold?
And sing the Fine Cut podcast.
The Fine Cut podcast.
Okay. Sorry, just thinking. News this week. We have a few corkers, don't we? Now, do you want to discuss about Lola Bunny?
Yeah.
The bunny. Give us the skinny. What's going on?
Skinny.
Well,
she ain't skinny no more.
What? Why don't you describe Lola Bunny then? Go on, give context. Go on.
The Lola Bunny.
I'm here delegating.
Beloved classic Looney Tunes character. She first she debuted role in Space Jam as a very sexually attractive bunny rabbit who she's a basketball pro. You know, and despite the obvious, you know, like unlikely body proportions, you know, the bunnies have big boobs and big voluptuous bum cheeks. So, yeah, that's pretty. I mean, it's a stupid subject. Leon, what's your take on the normalization of?
They've given her a heavy breast reduction surgery for this redesign.
Yeah. Like Scarlett Johansson under the skin.
No, so you know, I get it. They wanna like divert the male gaze and whatever, you know, sexualizing children's cartoons.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it implies, it implies that there's an inherent like malevolence to having breasts, like for any woman like who happens to have a bit more of a voluptuous sort of or whatever, like they're I don't know, they're letting the side down or something by having breasts. It's an odd one. Maybe I'm biased.
I think
there you go.
What were you going to say, Jeff?
No, I was going to say you mentioned that it's a slight against the male gaze, or it's a slight against women with larger breasts. But isn't the issue more there are already characters with large breasts. You can look at Lara Croft, but
she's also undergone the same redesign where they've reduced her breast.
True. Yeah, from triangle
Despicable.
to large and then to small, which
Like
triangle is the most unrealistic one. But going back to my point, you mentioned it's a slight against the male gaze.
Mhm.
When there obviously are women in the world with smaller breasts. I mean, they should they get more representation as well? Personally, I would say yes. But also, are you assigning an inherent sexuality to large breasts? Are large breasts more sexual because they are large, and small breasts are not so much because they're small?
Well, this is my point as to the redesign. This is what I'm refuting, is the idea of them making these redesigns. It's associating sexuality to those breasts. Like, there was no real need to change it.
I think the film associated enough sexuality to those breasts. But you see, like, Bugs Bunny has the biggest hard-on for this thing, for this character. Okay. So even Michael Jordan has a bit of a stiffy for Lola Bunny in the film.
I guess then it really comes to a little element of like demonizing sexuality itself. Then,
yeah,
is it like? Is it bad for your cartoon?
I just thought something though. We haven't seen the film yet. Maybe like in the new Space Jam, they're gonna like hype up how small her boobs are.
Oh, it's a fetish.
Maybe she'll still be fetishized. Maybe Bugs Bunny will have like maybe Bugs Bunny's gonna have a scene where he talks about how much he likes small breasts on a woman, and then Lola Bunny walks in after getting a reduction surgery. He's like, "Oh yes."
Oh goodness me.
Well,
fuck, I'm turning red again.
Well, if there is sexualization to be done in cinema, which you could there could be a case to be made that it's a tool like any other, like titillation or at least objectification. Is Looney Tunes really the place for that?
Oh God, no! Oh no! Put her in a rom-com.
Well, see, my problem is though, like, again, you probably don't want to be sexualizing things for kids and stuff, right? But for instance, in the Powerpuff Girls reboot, right? You remember Sarah Bellum from the original Powerpuff Girls, right, guys?
Is she the mayor's assistant?
Yeah. Right, yeah. Like, but you know, she also was like the sort of strong. She was a strong role model for the girls and stuff, right?
Yeah, she's good.
In the reboot, they straight up just removed her. Like, she's just not a character anymore because
she had a big old bum.
She had boobies.
A big old bum.
So
that's a shame.
Okay.
I don't know whether this is the hill I want to die on. For the first competition.
This is mate. This is the side you're coming from.
Yeah, this is
Bunny tit defender Leon Grimes. I mean, like, the trouble with Space Jam. Trouble, guys, with Space Jam is that they've done it in the wrong way. The wrong way around. Because when people watch Space Jam, who's going to watch Space Jam now? The people who watched it when they saw it when it came out, they're going to be old. They're at the age now where they can handle tits.
They're going to want bunny tits.
We're going to want bunny tits.
Yeah.
Like make Lola Bunny like flat chested in the original. And then when the remake comes out, like have these really defined characteristics. Have Bugs have like a bulge, stuff like. I'm so sorry, like, but that's the way they should have gone. Really, think like logically.
Space Jam really wasn't that good. In retrospect.
No, it's just a big advert for Nike, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Narratively, it's just Looney Tunes Back in Action was way better, but got way less clout.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the jokes and the way it looked was better. I need to watch it again, but I remember trying to watch it recently and thinking like the story and the writing, the pacing of Back in Action is like all over the place.
But Brendan Fraser.
That's true. He had his chance.
Here's another thing that's a bit weird. As sexualized as she is, Lola Bunny is always wearing clothes. Bugs Bunny, there are a lot of times when he just isn't. Yeah,
That's true.
he's walking around starkers, and he's
Mate.
not sexualized.
Imagine if he took Lola Bunny's clothes off. She like imagine. no, hear me out.
Like that.
Bugs Bunny's naked, like you said, Jeff. Bugs Bunny's naked.
Mm.
He ain't got pecs. He ain't got a bulge. It's because nothing going on. Right, Lola Bunny, like they're creating the idea that if you just peeled away that tube top, it's pretty disgusting when you think about it. It is inherently gross, isn't it? You know, it's over sexualizing. But at the same time, I feel like I personally don't know anyone who has an issue with Lola Bunny. I mean, I haven't done any market research, so I can't really vouch for this generation.
I think I'm thinking like sexuality though is often used for humor in like a lot of stuff like what growing up. I mean, you know, you mentioned Bugs Bunny himself, like he'd ironically the only times he was sexualized was when he was dressed up in women's clothing, kind of like to flirt with
okay, Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
Time and yeah, like I don't know, is all kind of. Is any hinting towards sexuality so prohibited for children?
Or is there more of a correlation between any expression of femininity is seen as sexual? So it's just an inherent sexualization of femininity.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that comes into an othering kind of conversation, doesn't it? Like anything that sits outside the norm of the heterosexual male is.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what all cartoons were like. I mean, we're living in like a new era for cartoons now, where everyone's just kind of got the same shaped body and stuff. But like, you know, back in the day, your men were goofy and your women were busty.
But rabbits in real life,
weird.
They don't have two breasts.
They don't have two breasts. They don't. But they also don't stand on massive back legs and talk English. I mean, not the rabbits have been. I haven't seen, at least. Give Bugs pecs. If you want to level it out, give Bugs pecs. Give him some Speedos.
But are pecs sexualized? Are pecs equivalent to female breasts? Because they're not. Because
balls. Give him balls.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd say a guy's arms are like the equivalent to breasts.
Watch. An expensive watch.
Yeah.
On a hairy arm.
It's like wearing a really fancy bra on your arm, isn't it?
Okay.
I wanted to ask about with Lola Bunny and stuff, right? Furries. Now, this is a thing that this is a new. I mean, it's not new, but it's a relatively contemporary sort of group fandom movement, right? Yeah. Do you think a lot of that came from a lot of the anthropomorphic cartoon characters that we had growing up for our age?
I think that's.
Yeah, I think it's like harking back to. There's a weird part of the sexuality that like latches onto nostalgia and mixes the two to create this fetishization of.
Depends on the kind of furry you're talking about, but probably shouldn't go into the details because I could talk about furry psychology all day.
Well, from a Freudian perspective, sexuality forms in the human mind at like age 4, which will be perfect time to solidify
a furry fetish.
Essentially, yeah. If you see cartoons of sexualized animals at a young age, and then that becomes your context for sexuality as you grow up, then it wouldn't be too far to draw that assumption to sexualization of anthropomorphized or just people
So-
dressed up as a fairy? Because fairy.
Jeffrey, you got something? You got a little secret? You want to tell? Where is Tinkerbell, Jethro?
Where's the
No, I
suit?
said fairy.
Oh, fairy. Wait, what? That's
Yeah,
even weirder. Oh god, them boats really get me going. Oh jeez. So where are we at now with this? With
Yeah,
this,
so
this
Lola
time?
Bunny, breast
everyone.
reduction,
Lola
blah, blah,
Bunny.
blah, blah, blah.
She's
Yeah.
fit. She now she looks more normal.
Yeah, you can still be
That's it.
sexualized and have
She can
smaller
still be
breasts.
sexualized. Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I just want to make it clear. I'm not saying that smaller breasts aren't sexy. Like,
Oh yeah.
like just let's
Yeah.
boobs are
You
boobs.
can hear more about this on Leon's small breast podcast, where on a twice a week he'll discuss the benefits of small breasts.
It's the Fine Breast podcast.
That's good. That's good. And I've also you can also join me on the Uncut podcast.
All right, moving on.
Right on.
Also, another thing, Amazon had a little bit of a whoopsie. They redesigned their logo with their iconic Amazon smile, and then what's supposed to be tape over the top. But the tape had like a zigzag, which okay, in and of itself, all right. But people said that looks awfully like Adolf Hitler's moustache. Whoopsie-doo.
Amazon smile, more like Amazon Heil. Am I right?
Oh
Dear.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
No.
So I've taken a look at this this supposed logo mishap. The tape's blue. So
Okay.
but if it is to if it is supposed to look like Hitler, they've made him look like a
just
quirky, kooky eagle.
He's just come back from having breakfast on Tatooine.
Oh, nice little.
Yeah, it's a good little smile. Just like an eagle.
Yeah, well, just all that proof looking at that. Just how did it slip through? Just bruh.
No.
Is there actual outrage at this?
It was more just like a ha. That looks like Hitler, and they're like, whoopsie doo. We better change this so it doesn't look like Hitler.
They're gonna change it to look like Stalin. It's
just have like tape all the way around with like the edges just sagging down.
Could be Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
Could be Charlie Chaplin.
Actually, the Hitler moustache. Like,
yeah.
Just trying to think. It can't have been just Hitler doing it. It must have been a fashion thing at the time.
Man.
It must have been.
Charlie Chaplin rocked the same moustache.
But he was mimicking
same
Hitler.
Time. Was he?
Well, he wasn't he? The great dictator?
I thought he just wanted one, but didn't he have one of those? He had one of those moustaches outside of being in that film.
Oh yeah, like the moustache stays on after
he was just
film.
I swear down, he had one for the Gold Rush. I don't know. I think he had one for longer than the film. I think he did rock it.
Has anyone had one since? Like a Hitler mustache? Or has it been completely written out of history?
Probably, yeah. It's like everything else to do with the Nazis and Hitler. It just becomes really unpopular unless you're in those fringes, but no one talks about them because they're idiots.
I saw an article like a year ago about a guy who had a toothbrush mustache. And it was like an article like, meet the guy who's got a Hitler mustache. And he's rocking it. Someone's wearing it, and he was so famous. He has an article written about him, but I can't find.
What was his like? I don't know. What was his? What did he have to say about that? The idea Was he making a particular stance by having that
He
mustache?
just wanted the mustache and was
Right.
like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I want the mustache. I like the mustache." Fair dues.
Yeah, like it's got nothing inherently what's the word, like prejudiced about it. It is just a
No,
it is
it's just a
hairstyle.
mustache. Even the swastika has origins in peace.
Yeah.
Is it Buddhism or Hinduism?
I think it's Hinduism.
But it's the other way
Yeah.
around, isn't it? Because the spokes go anti-clockwise for the swastika, clockwise for Hindu. Is that
Yeah.
right?
That is, yeah, I think so. It's and they also tilted it a little bit.
Because I remember going to Sydney and went into a shop there, and I was surprised to see that. And I'm like, what they got a swastika on it? It's like, oh no, that's like Hindu symbol for peace, and like,
oh yeah,
oh okay. So
it really is a shame.
Yeah, it's kind of horrible how you can just contort the context of any given symbol if it's a negative one. Like if you started using like a crucifix to start murdering I don't know, insert race here.
Yeah.
Do you think that would change? Do you think that would change the meaning of? Do you think that would change how people view the crucifix?
Well, I mean,
in 100 years,
it's already been used for that, but it's just the crucifix has got a solid PR team.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the crucifix symbol of Christianity, America being predominantly a Christian country, with the crucifix being used to kill black people by the KKK in the US, people have a stronger connection to it from Christianity than the KKK. Say in Central Europe, whether the predominant religion isn't Hinduism, and then they see that symbol, the main connection to that symbol will be the Third Reich. It wouldn't be Hinduism. But if you were from, say, India, it would be, unless they're the Third Reich. Maybe.
It's a shame, really.
What if we started using like a pride flag to
kill the straights?
Commit hate? Yeah, to get the straight, just kill them all off.
Oh.
Jesus. That'd be, yeah, I could.
How would we fly that flag?
I think the rainbow is a bit more ubiquitous, though. Like, it's not like a solid symbol like the swastika is. It's just the rainbow has existed before, and it will exist.
It's in the sky. You don't see swastikas in the sky when it starts raining. That'd be a bit scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true that.
It breaks my heart because like, imagine you got this. Imagine like this. There's a blonde guy with blue eyes out there, and he's he moved to, I don't know, somewhere in the West, and he's gotten into Hinduism, and he's big on Hinduism, and he's like, oh, I love this religion. It really does something for me, and he's like, oh, it's got a symbol, okay. So he starts wearing this swastika everywhere, and like he's gonna get so much hate. Poor guy. It's a shame, really. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it just shows that the less you know, the more dangerous your assumptions are going to be.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yes,
definitely. But ignorance is bliss.
But you fear what you don't know. So the more you know, the less you fear. So if you don't want to live in fear, know more.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I feel like learning more gives you a lot more to fear. Like Dunning-Kruger, I don't know what to be scared of if I don't know about it.
Okay. But you need to go back right up the curve again.
They say fear of the unknown is a prominent factor in life.
But if you're aware of the Dunning-Kruger effect, then if you're really unconfident or losing confidence in your abilities or knowledge in a particular field, should that not be a good sign? A good sign that you are actually improving? Because you said it, you're aware of it, but are you applying it?
I think you can still be rationally, like you can still have a rational awareness of your own shortcomings without that really applying. Like
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, like I know I'm bad at building rockets. That doesn't mean I'm any better at building rockets for knowing that.
Well, think about it. I know, but I know. I don't. I know. Like eating meat is wrong. Still
You
do it.
still fucking do it, don't you?
Still fucking do it. I'd still do it. It's
Every
terrible.
time,
I didn't have meat
last
yesterday.
year when we lived together, was it last year? Yeah, last year when we lived together, every other week he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a vegan this week." Never fucking did it.
Never did it. Never did it.
He'd shove his meat right next to my fucking soy milk.
I'd get my fish sauce cooking away. Oh, Leon. Oh, Jethro, man. Leon hates fish sauce.
Yeah, we might have to cut to a commercial break, man.
He's gonna vom.
Flare up.
I mean, Jethro, have you ever had fish sauce?
Like sauce for fish or sauce made from
It's
fish?
like it's it's a little bit of both. It's yeah, you can get it in most like Chinese, Japanese sections of a supermarket. It's like a fermented fish liquid
Ooh,
that you put on food. It's really not. I know it sounds weird, but it's really nice.
okay.
It is. It gives.
I believe you. I believe you.
It amps up the flavor of that kind of food.
Okay.
Not when Leon don't like it.
Yeah, I believe you. It's just I'm not a big fan of fish.
Oh yeah. Oh, you probably
Or
won't like it.
unless it's like fish
I mean, to be fair,
cakes,
this is-
cod, haddock. I like
To be
those.
fair, it doesn't really smell that much like fish. It smells more like genitals than fish.
Are you trying to sell me or
Very unhealthy.
persuade me?
I think that's delectable.
Oh. Well, is it like healthy genitals or genitals with like
No.
a
It's
bacterial infection?
Bacterial infection.
Like
Genitalia.
heavily infected, like to the
Like-
point
like-
where leave the room.
Like
Oh,
you've
okay.
gone for like you've just done a marathon.
Like a bit of BV,
BV. What's BV?
bacterial vaginosis.
Yeah,
Oh.
like that.
That's cool.
That must be why I like it so much, Like, anyway, so what's this? Yeah.
Okay.
What
Jesus.
was the point?
Yeah, what we talking about again? It was a Hitler. It was an Amazon Hitler mustache. We started talking about we started talking about swastikas.
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger, yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Just a recap for if you're just joining in.
Just if you're just joining in, we have covered. How long have we been recording?
This is a
Jethro?
live stream. About half an hour, I think.
Half an hour, and we've covered a range of topics.
Shall we go
From
into another
Lola.
one?
Let's do it. Let's do this.
Excellent.
Being the outsider in like your sphere and using art as a catharsis. Is that the right word? Catharsis?
Most definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I
it
have no idea.
depends on what you're covering, but
All right. Would you like to refine?
I imagine a lot of people-
Catharsis.
catharsis.
Catharsis, the process of realizing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions.
Yeah. There we go.
That's right.
It fits perfectly.
That's beautifully used. Yeah.
So in terms of art, what do we do to express that? Because I think it's fair to say that we're all artists in one vein, medium, form or other. What's your medium? I can tell by your background, Leon, what yours is.
Light switches.
But still myself.
It's great. Signed it.
What is the question? Sorry.
What's your form of art? Your medium for catharsis?
I don't know. I think it really depends. Like, I don't want to get too pretentious here and stuff, but I'm about to. I think like just because anything you do requires an element of like creativity. It doesn't necessarily need to be related to the arts. Like playing a video game in some way is a creative use of your expression or whatever. So you can get catharsis out of so many things. Cooking or I don't know, finding new places to walk or doing anything.
I don't know.
The idea of like limiting yourself to a particular medium to experience catharsis is I don't know, it's very limiting. I think.
Okay.
Is that creative?
Yeah.
Isn't creativeness creating something?
Creativity was, it came out of the, it came from hunting. It came from survival instincts. The idea of being able to predict the future and come up with plans to get your next meal. Like, creativity is in everything, dude.
That's true, but we don't have to do those things anymore.
We don't, but we do have to decide the things that we want to go forward with doing.
That's true.
I have to creatively decide what kind of thing I want off of my Frankie and Benny's order.
That's true, actually. At the core, there's imagination in everything.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And you can find different bits of relief in all of that.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on like how expressive or therapeutic something is. Because like I could say that it's a creative choice for me to go to work, hate my life. But that's not like expressive or cathartic in any way.
That's not a choice though. You do that because you have to.
It's still a choice. I could choose to stay home and like kill myself.
Oh, please don't.
I'm so sorry. All right, I'll delete that. I could choose to stay home and.
I could that.
I'm really sorry, Jethro. I could choose to stay home and like do nothing all day. I could choose to go to work in a different hat. Yeah, there's still an element of
what's your
choice. I don't know. I guess not all choices are like therapeutic or expressive.
Okay,
that's true.
But and like even in the STEM fields, you need a bit of creativity. Like when it comes to developing theories, you look at the empirical evidence and you develop something. It's like theories about what the Earth's core is made of. What's the structure of the Earth on the inside? You look at the data and you're like, okay, well, you got these compression waves going through the Earth, blah, 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 blah. And this goes like this. And when there's an earthquake here, we hear blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they come up with a theory that, there's this core in the middle and there's like this softer, almost liquid type mantle in the middle. And then you got your crust with your sublimation points and your extrusion points as well. And so even in STEM fields, you need that creativity. So it's not just an expression of just creativity, creating something, but it's also problem solving.
Yeah, completely.
It's true.
I'd argue a lot of the discoveries that we do make had to come from someone theorizing that might be the case. You don't just sort of stumble upon a lot of these. A lot of
them are. You could say a lot of them are theorized.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you could.
Legend says.
Yeah, but you know all about the legend of the devil. Theorize whatever you want. I guess like I'm trying to think of like the least creative job. I don't know. Sidetrack. So what we're talking about again?
Well, I guess to be honest, I kind of deflected Jethro's initial question, didn't I? Really, you kind of just wanted to ask about like how I don't know, just explore how we find catharsis in our creative mediums, right?
Yeah, like what mediums are they, and how do they bring you catharsis? Like, if you find catharsis in creating a narrative, and you have that release as you write it, or you start daydreaming, then you translate that into a drawing or a painting, or you start like humming to yourself, and then you start composing music. I mean, is it like that?
I'll let you take this one, Wes.
Oh, me? I thought it was yours. Oh shit, I thought it was yours. Oh.
Oh, no.
Okay. I guess for me, I don't know. There's not really like a. So I do a lot of stuff. I do like animations, music, but like I guess at the core of all that, I'm kind of like a storyteller. like tell stories with different mediums. But yeah, you guys are finding out for me as well. So basically, I'm basically a storyteller. I do that through different mediums like music, animation, scripts, kind of thing. Sometimes even a comic book, you know. Who cares? But basically, I guess for me, I don't really like think about like how I do it or where it comes from. I've kind of said this before. I only feel like I make sense when I make things. If that makes sense. Or do I need to make something? Yeah. No. Yeah, do you get what I mean? Yeah, I feel like my thoughts don't like translate at all. Like, because I'm a very sarcastic guy.
So for you, it's more communication than...
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Is that the core tenet for you for...
Yeah, and that's like the opinion I have about art in general. I feel like art is like, for me at least, I don't want to sound like a big old douchebag, but I kind of think like it's I feel like your duty as an artist is to... We're all existing. We're all confused, and a lot of us are sad. Some of us are happy, but we're all going through this really weird, confusing thing that we can't understand called consciousness. And I feel like art is a great way to basically extend your hand out and to meet someone else's and say, I'm going through this as well. I know what you're going through. Let's figure out existing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that. That's very nice.
I don't know. That's pretty much my take.
The point you made about communication and getting your feelings and message out there. I feel like audiences more and more today, particularly with film and just consumer culture in general, don't engage with interpreting what the author's intention is as much as what they draw from it, which I think is important to have your own interpretations from art. But I don't know if you... I feel like part of art is like that lateral thinking of trying to actually understand someone, and I don't know whether people are trying to understand artists as much as they're trying to understand themselves anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of but I feel like it is a good bit of context to know who the artist is and what we're going through. I feel like this is like, I think you can appreciate art any way you want. And it's useful to have context for what someone's going through, definitely. Or you can derive your own meaning from it.
Can I just say, like, when I'm making that point, I'm not trying to say that you need the context, the actual real life context of what the artist's life is or anything like that. I'm saying that what the artist is trying to communicate with that particular piece is often lost in favor of what a person draws for it, for their own bias, for their own personal drawback, which is a good thing to be able to do, to be able to speak to people universally. But I think having like an actual solid message is admirable too. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
It's something that needs to be...
Definitely. It depends. It just depends on your audience, really. Like it depends on who touches your art first, who gets their hands on it, and tries to process it. That's like, because I know like it's like the whole prequel situation, isn't it? That's inspired you to think this way. Yeah. And the trouble with that is that like fanboy culture, man, it's always gonna be about what like how that, because they've already like got their own like idea, pre-existing idea of how something is going to turn out and how something should turn out. When it doesn't turn out that way, they're like, I feel like I've been lied to, I feel like I've been cheated to, and that's a very immature way for an audience to behave.
Oh,
definitely.
Ruin it for everyone else as well. Gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten George Lucas to the point now where he still makes films, but he doesn't release them. He doesn't show anyone. He just shows them to his friends now.
Oh.
He's still making them. But this is what I want to ask actually. Like, with you all making good stuff, when you're creating, is the creation of the art enough for you, or is part of the experience sharing it, having people see it?
Share. I'm a sharer.
You share
I mean,
it, yeah.
like, I think like both really is like they're like kind of equally important.
I think they definitely are both important. Like, I asked that question. I know that question runs the risk of sounding like you like it's an ego thing to show people, but like the whole point is communication. So
my ego's distorted, man. Like I can't like have a piss without showing someone the toilet bowl, you know.
That's true. I've got lots of shit.
I show people everything I do, and I'm just constantly fishing for like, you know, positive feedback. And but I guess yeah, showing people is actually more important. It probably is, because when I create something, the first thing I think of is, oh, I can show people. Show people now.
Right.
I don't know. It just sounds egotistical, doesn't it?
What is the desire for that?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm just like a scumbag and I want like praise, or maybe I don't know, or maybe I'm like maybe I am this artist that I believe I am. You know.
Can we put that into another context, please? Say a couple, they have a baby. Now the couple post pictures of their baby on social media. They want to show their baby to everyone, like, oh, look at them, look at them. Is it a similar thing where it's not in a sense that, oh yeah, we made a baby, look at us. It's not a sense of arrogant entitlement. It's a sense of, hey, come look at this. We made this.
Pride.
This is our baby. Pride, but not in the sense of arrogance or hubris, but in the sense of self-affirmment, and almost like your art is your baby. You want your baby to grow up and explore the world in the best way that they can, be the best that they can be.
That's a really lovely way of putting it.
Rental. Yeah, you have like a carer, like a caring perspective on your creations.
That is nice.
I think they are in the same fields, right? I do agree with the comparison of you know, your child being like your ultimate sort of creation and stuff. But I think with art, and I think like this ties into kind of what you were saying a little bit earlier, Wes, where you feel like the only time you make sense is for your art, right?
Yeah.
So like we all want to be understood and all that kind of stuff. And if the only way you can do that is through like bite-sized digestible chunks of, this is how I feel about this. Is that I feel like sharing your art is just finding like just step-by-step ways to be more understood. Whereas with a baby, there's not like.
That's true.
It is a very personal thing. It's not.
That's true, actually.
Like, artistically decided is how you feel
about
that.
Unless you're a very controlling dad.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Then you've got
and the baby becomes your own little art piece.
Yeah. Like dance moms and stuff. Yeah. That's a whole thing. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh God, that is a thing.
Yeah, or what if you're like, oh yeah, I don't like this film I made. Is that this? And you just say, oh, I hate this film. Blah blah blah.
I hate this baby.
Yeah. Is it the same thing where like
this one's rubbish?
Yeah. Put it back. Try again.
Yep. Yes, my firstborn son's great, but I hate the sequel. No.
Yeah,
so do you love all your children?
Do I love all my children?
Who's this for? Who's this question for?
Both of you. Do you love your children?
Like creative children, or like the real children I have?
Not real, because as far as I know, you're not fathers, are you?
Yeah.
We're doing allegations on this podcast.
No. Like your creations as your children. What you love all your children, don't you? All your creations.
There's definitely some I don't love as much as others.
Well, that's the same for children.
That's true. Let me think. Like I'm trying to like.
I think I have a love for them, but I think I have a love for all of them, but like I can dislike a lot about a lot of.
Yeah.
Same time. I definitely care about them because it's stuff that it's stuff that's come from me. You know, I cared about it enough to make something out of it, but I can still see that. I can still see a lot of the glaring problems with Baby Doll.
Is that
Baby
not
doll.
is that not what being a parent is about?
That's true.
Accepting your, well, no, because I guess with art you're always like striving to create like better.
Child, this one's so shit, man.
Okay,
First one's just the prototype.
That's how people end up having like 10 kids. Trying to chase that perfection, the perfect child. Trying to chase the perfect child. Leon, you got done for that, didn't you? If you,
you knew that was coming. So you said chase the perfect child. I was like, right, where's this going?
Context?
There's no context. No context.
He's Thank God there's no context to that joke.
Fuck me.
Sorry, well, you chased a child, or didn't you?
No, I did not chase a child. No.
Yeah, mate. We're all friends here, man.
Look, I know I've got this fucking pedo tash going on, right?
Pedo face.
I'm not chasing.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, can we say pedo on the podcast?
You just did. So
is that a fine cut podcast first?
What, mentioning Peter? I'm sure we mentioned nonsense before.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Just have to go through the backlog.
Yeah.
You have got the bell on, haven't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Wait, the notification bell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
yeah. If you're still watching this, subscribe and get the bell on.
Click that bell. Hey.
If you're acting in something and you're like, just going through the motions, that's not your creativity, and that doesn't have the same. I feel like I'm assuming here, but does that have the same impact or effect on you, or is it different in some way?
In terms of like my own fulfillment?
Yeah, creativity, catharsis.
I think with acting, it's more of like a collaborative creativity, because there's it's like being creative within like a set of limitations, which can actually like fuel your creativity sometimes and stuff, because it gives you, it gives you a contained like grounds to work with to then like bend the rules of that particular limitation stuff.
It can challenge you.
Yeah, if you've got no grounds, anything can happen, but it can also be kind of, I guess, crippling, because you don't know where to take it. In terms of fulfillment, I really enjoy acting. I really enjoy it. I don't know whether it's fulfilling in the sense of not in a like a cathartic sense of yes, I got my feelings out here and did this, or I imagine it could be if you get the roles and stuff, but I've just I've not had that career, I guess.
Yet.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. Acting's really fun, and it's really fun to collaborate with people and create something more that like needs, that requires a lot of people to work on, a lot of different minds. Film's a very unique thing in that respect, where it is in uni I often saw it as compromise, but it is a result of like just collaboration, just seeing a bunch of different brains work together at different varying degrees of control, but
it's very social.
Yeah, it is.
It's just the film set. God, there's nothing like it. It's like a social little moment in time. Everyone's walking around, everyone's energized, some people aren't, but like everyone's in it together. And God, you make some great memories, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You make some really good memories on film sets. Like, yeah.
Jeff, where do you get your most creative fulfillment from? Because you're a bit of a jack of all trades.
Like to write, but I think in the same thing that I don't see much point in writing stuff that I know I can't film. So as much as I want to make a film about alien immigrants moving to Jupiter and the reckless harvesting of hydrogen from the sun going to make it go supernova, not going to be able to film that anytime soon.
Do animation, man.
True. Not ruling it out, but at the moment it's like, yeah. But writing things that I know that it can film, again, working within those limitations. I think parroting what you're saying, do it does stimulate creativity, like within those limitations. I think also using like lighting as well in certain ways. I've experimented a bit more with that. You can tell a lot more through that. Mix it with the quarter shelf effects and the and just like general performance. And sometimes you just don't need dialogue. Like dialogue, a lot of it's superfluous, really. But when you create something, you watch it after the edit, and for it to work is a very good feeling. You're like, yeah, okay. If it doesn't work, you're like, oh. But when it does work, it's
so much time.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a gamble. Like it either works or it doesn't. There's things that work that you didn't think would, and you're like, that's a good moment. But the key shot that you thought, oh yeah, that's going to be great, just falls flat sometimes. Yeah, you got to roll with the punches. But yeah, there's almost you don't know. Yeah, I don't really get that fulfillment until it's in a state of completion. Personally, does that make sense?
Yeah,
definitely. That's actually what put me off filmmaking.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, man, big time. Because I guess like you want like this artistic, creative fulfillment, like this expression, and to wait months or even years to get that feeling, it's like, oh, I got a bit of lag.
That's all right. We can still hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so like wait months or like years to get that feeling. It's like, and the thing is, like people, you change a lot. Like I might write a script, and then 10 months later, what I thought was a good script back then might not be a good script now. And I might like film it and be like, fucking hell, why don't I do that? Whereas like if you, I don't know, I guess if you express yourself more like instantaneously, I know you have less room to like calculate how you're going to do something, and you could say it's not as well-rounded or refined as like a film that takes months, but you do get that feeling a lot quicker, and it's more of a reflection of who you are at the time when you made it, rather than a reflection of how much you've changed in a year. Kind of. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's definitely something that also like kind of put me off film a little bit, is the seeming inauthenticity of trying to make something make something work and make something more appealing. That it's I mean, don't get me wrong, you should definitely put effort into what you're crafting, but there comes a certain point where it's not that initial expression of self anymore. It's like how, I don't know, it's refining it for a mass audience that isn't you. Maybe it's a selfish thing to.
I don't think it's selfish at all. I think like it's just I think like filmmaking is it's a pinch of art, and it's a pinch of industry, and you've got to be organized in your mind. You've got to be like production minded, like, and if if you're like an artist who's dying to just like bleed his heart out onto a fucking piece of A4 paper, it's probably not the right thing for you, because you're gonna have producers and stuff. You're gonna say like, oh, it's just this expresses how I feel. Then a producer guy is gonna come up and say, right, that's cool, but give this person a hat and change the color of his nose. You're gonna say no. That's what I want. That's that's my idea. And he's gonna say, "Fucking, no one cares about what you want."
This actually happened to Wes back in 2017, wasn't it?
It did happen.
Oh.
See, I was pitching I was pitching an idea for a show called Little Hat Blue Nose, and it's about a guy. He has a little hat. He's got blue nose, and he wears massive boots. And I pitched it, and like we filmed everything, and the producer was like, "I love Little Hat Blue Nose. Give him a big hat and a red nose." And I was like, "How dare you?" Ruins are completely. That's like saying to Steven Spielberg, "How about we get rid of this list that Schindler's talking about all the time, and like replace it with like a go-kart?"
Schindler's go-kart.
Schindler's go-kart. No, don't have a
This little red go-kart.
Liam Neeson, black and white Liam Neeson. Yeah, like the only thing that's red is a go-kart. It doesn't have the same ring, does it?
No.
It really doesn't. Schindler's go-kart. Oh, Jesus.
Jeff, I actually wanted to ask you about something you were saying about thinking about stuff you can make. Trying. Do you like? Again, I know we were talking about like limitations, kind of encouraging creativity, but do you feel that in pursuit of filmmaking, and coming in from a low budget perspective, it's kind of stifled your creativity in terms of what you're willing to approach?
Some ways more than others. So you're going to make a zombie film, but you can't afford 50,000 extras. There's that. But I mean, what cinema means, it means different people. Means different things to different people. But to me, it's about moments, a narrative, and character. Now, in theory, that sort of stuff doesn't require money. Like, as long as you have those key moments there. Now, obviously, you need like a setting, you need costume, you need like locations, blah 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 blah. Which, yeah, of course. But I feel that you need, like, as long as you got your conflicts, you got your dynamics, you got your characters, everything else is is secondary. Like, you can make a film about like a creepy guy delivering pizza and having an obsession with a young lady.
That sounds fun.
Leon, I can really see you being in that role.
And you could have it in a science fiction world. You could do, in theory.
Yeah.
You could also have it in...
That's Futurama.
Yeah, you could also have it in the early 1900s. Like, you can have it in any setting. You can have the same characters, similar dynamic, but in a different setting. It just happened to be cheaper to do it in contemporary today society, which, yeah. And like, you can have all the window dressing you like, but you need that character there. But if the character isn't there, if you don't have that feel for that dynamic, then yeah.
I'd say Shaun of the Dead's a great example of that. Just like that film could have just been a rom-com, easily. It's just about a guy who's got struggles to like balance all the factors of his life. That's what the core story is. He's got like a relationship that's not going well. Put zombies in it.
I think. I was just gonna say, I think that's the thing. Like, yeah, those core stories, like the settings are never really, yeah, they're not usually actually that integral to what the character conflicts and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's why, like, a lot of, I'm bringing up Star Wars now. I feel like a lot of like rebooted franchises miss the mark of what the stories are about, and it's more fanfare for settings and stuff. But I think that is again the fanboy problem of people think of Star Wars as wanting big spaceships and Jedis and shit. And,
I think like it is focusing on the character and like the core story is the most important thing for sure. Fucking I can't remember what I was gonna say. I can't remember what I was gonna say. You just got me thinking hateful thoughts about Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
Could I do a segue? Star Wars related.
No, it's okay. I could talk all day about like how much I hate Star Wars, or how much I love Star Wars.
No, Leon, you love Star Wars, don't you?
I love it.
Oh
and hate it.
I love what Star Wars was. I hate what Star Wars has become.
Okay, hypothetically, a story about a young man fighting against an oppressive fascist regime, blah 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 blah, destroying a big weapon. That can happen in a contemporary context. It doesn't have to happen in space.
Yeah, but it's like heavily based off World War II, isn't it? Star Wars.
Yeah, we have fascists in real life, not just Nazis, but other fascists before and since. We also have big super weapons.
Yep. We do. The time that
the Gustav gun.
What's the Gustav?
So World War II German weapon that fired massive ordnance at an incredibly accurate place in a massive range. I just know that because of Breaking Bad.
Basically, I had this guy called Gustav. Really fat guy with like probably muscly hard gut, and they used to put him in this cannon, shoot him at the.
You just punched the country.
He'd like punch. They shot him, mate. Like they shot him at like Pearl Harbor, and he just went.
did a Hulk pose.
They awoke the sleeping giant.
I was just asking with guns and war and all that kind of stuff, humans are uniquely creative at being destructive.
Yes.
What is the human condition like? In yourselves, do you find yourselves leaning towards destructive thoughts or creative ways of doing that? Like, is it innately human? What's going on? Why are we so?
I think I'll tell you what it is, Mr. Crimes.
Tell me.
It's because war, whenever society is put in a state of crisis, that's when all the funding goes to revolutionary new ideas. So that's why it's a lot more prevalent when we're at war, that like we start like kind of inventing new things and discovering new things. It's because there's a demand for it. It's like we have the internet because of war, because of a Cold War. We have like nuclear bomb because of World War II. Pretty much like most I don't know about most, but a lot of like advancements in tech have been a result of like war. Well, think like, say if some sort of a public health crisis happened, all the funding would go. We'd find a cure in record time because all the funding's like.
Yeah, imagine if that happened.
Quick. Imagine if that happened. I mean, thank God it hasn't. So like, when humans are in a situation of crisis, we do start thinking and we start throwing money at stuff. I think that's what the situation is.
It's like the Air Force. The plane was invented in 1911, and the Wright brothers were like, it's going to be like a million years before there's going to be a transatlantic flight. And then World War I came along, a fast track of development of it. Firstly, planes were used for reconnaissance, aerial photography. And then it's like, we can use this for combat. Strap a gun to it, bang, bang. Yeah, and the Royal Air Force was born because of that. And you also got the Cold War with NASA. Now, NASA was also, like, a lot of their technology comes from Boeing, which is another American company. Now, the Boeing 747. Now, on a separate note, the Boeing 747 was out of a necessity to transport goods as well as people, because it was the first aircraft with 2 decks. You got your one completely full of passengers, and then on the top floor you got more passengers and your cockpit. Now, you just fill it with passengers, there you go. But the bottom deck as well, you could open the front and the back up, stick cargo in both ends, and it was way more effective than the others that just open up at the front or the back, like the, I think 727. You could open that up at the back. But no, the 747 only recently stopped production and will be decommissioned probably in the next 10 years. But it's lasted since the 60s. But with NASA, the revolution with rockets and the like, due to necessity with the Cold War, where we've got to be the commies to the moon. But at the same time, developmentation of all those technologies led to all sorts of things like GPS, LED lights, digital cameras, non-stick frying pans.
Non-stick frying pans.
My question though is really like kind of more about the times where it's not like necessity or anything. It's just destruction for the sake of it. Like Wes, for instance, enjoys fire. He enjoys watching things burn.
I love watching things burn too.
I love fire. I burned my neighbour's fence down when I was younger.
Can you tell a certain story?
Oh yeah, I can tell that.
You're allowed to tell that on this podcast?
This wasn't like, it's annoying because I didn't start this fire on purpose. But I love having fires. Yeah, I always used to ask myself, where have all my childhood toys gone? And I know where they went. I've burnt them all. Anyway, so I took a set of matches, sat in my garden, and watched my plastic Daleks melt with a massive smile on my face. Anyway, so the real story I'm meant to be telling actually is when I was like 16, 15, no, about 15, I had my friend over. We had a fire. And we were like, right, it's time. Should we go to bed? Let's put the fire out. So I was like, yeah, I'll get some water. But he's like, no, I'll piss on it. So I pissed on the fire, and I smelled so bad, like just charred piss. And so that was basically like so gross. I was like, let's get rid of this as fast as possible. So we tipped the hot ashes into the dustbin. But I don't know. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then basically we were in my room just like chilling out, and he turns to me and says, I was falling asleep, by the way. I was in my boxer shorts, but he turns to me and goes, how long have you had an orange blinking light outside your bedroom window? You go, what? Never. Like, never. So I fucking open my curtains, a fire, roaring fire, reaching my bedroom window. So I shit myself, I get out, throw my duvet off, like run downstairs in my fucking boxers. And like my mum's in the living room. She doesn't know what's going on. And then she like, she's like, "What's we doing? Like, there's a fucking fire." She runs outside. She's calling me like a twat and all this stuff. And I'm like, she's so angry. And I've got like buckets of water and pots and pans. I'm throwing water on it, trying to like get it out. And eventually, I fight the fire, and it goes out. Fireman comes, says, attend this fire safety thing.
I was just thinking, Leon. I think my answer wasn't in the vein of violence when it comes to NASA, but in the vein of conflict. And you could say the same for, let's say, economic conflict. Look at the economic conflict between China and the US with their tariffs and embargoes and things like that, or the economic rush for resources on the moon. Like people want to set up mines on the moon to mine helium-3 or water and separate the oxygen and the hydrogen to create fuel.
Right. So you're saying like just conflict creates like, conflict leads to creativity is...
Yeah, even in, say, competition, you're playing a sport, you're in conflict. It doesn't have to be violent. I mean, I guess it can be, but it's you find creative ways to win. So that model could apply to different things outside of violence and destruction, possibly.
I think like that's it's definitely driven by the desire to win. But then like that,
win,
like you were saying, Leon, there's also the primal creativity of, say, burning down a fence for no reason.
Like the story I actually thought you were going to tell was your spoons story, because that was that was an unnecessary, really unnecessary, but there was fulfillment out.
That was great. Oh, that was huge fulfillment. Yeah, just for you guys working in the audience. I used to work for this really evil corporation run by a hideous old man called Weatherspoons. And I quit my job and I burnt my uniform. And it was the most liberating experience. I think it's the only thing that could have been more liberating is putting a fucking Molotov cocktail through the windows of Tim Martin's house.
This did backfire on you though, didn't it?
Oh, it did backfire. I got barred. I got barred from that Weatherspoons for a year.
Decided to film it.
It doesn't bother me, you know.
Just saying, on the Fine Cut podcast, we do not condone violence towards any individuals or corporations. Please sponsor us.
I'm saying it right here, right now. Kill Mr. Weatherspoon. Right?
Kill Mr. Weatherspoons.
Kill Mr. Weatherspoon.
He can get fucked.
No, we don't get banned off YouTube.
Fine Cuttians.
Kill Mr. Weatherspoons.
Right.
I think like I got barred. The trouble is like everyone's like always wants to go to Weatherspoons because it's really cheap. So I'll have to go in there at some point, and I did. And they said, "Oh, you're still barred." I was like, "Damn it!
It must have passed.
I don't even want to be here." It did pass. I was barred for 6 months. I went in over a year later, and the fucking idiots inside there, like, you still said, like, you know, you're fucking still barred. And I'm like, it doesn't even bother me that I'm still barred. Oh, you can't have wank food and fucking watered down ale.
It's a pretty hard stance on Weatherspoons. I'm sorry if you ever get a sponsored deal with Weatherspoons, Jethro.
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry, Tim Martin's watching this. I do deeply apologize.
Yeah, don't want to cut Jethro out of ad revenue money, man. Come on.
No.
Jethro, mate, do you want to get sponsored by Toby Carvery?
Oh, Toby Carvery, they're really nice.
They're the good guys, I think. I mean, you know, you never know. It might be owned by, you know, like Hitler or something, but.
Well, I very much doubt it. I think Hitler is long gone.
A little bit dead, isn't he?
Speaking about Hitler,
is he?
He was an artist. He was when he lived in Venice.
Well, he was a Nazi, was he? What was that?
A Nazi? I find that claim offensive.
No, an artist. He was creating art like before World War One. He was living in Venice. Tried twice to apply to the academy there. We got rejected both times. And you look at his art, and without the context, you're like, oh, it's all right. I wouldn't say it's anything special, but it's a reasonably well done landscape of somewhere, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this wouldn't be out of place in someone's living room, possibly. But when you realize, wait, this was done by Adolf Hitler, and you're like, oh, knowing who it's from or who it's by changes the context of it. Now, should it do? Because the art itself didn't cause the Holocaust. The painting didn't like declare World War II. But the man himself behind it did.
I honestly think the fact that Hitler painted them is to the benefit of the paintings. Not Nazi, but no.
Does a
if you saw those paintings and you didn't know Hitler painted them, they'd just be standard landscape pictures that you don't think twice about. But the fact that they're authentically Hitler means there's something to think about. There's a reason for you to remember them. You know, I think like That's it. That's the only reason why anyone knows. That's the only reason why anyone knows what these paintings are or who they're from. You know, they weren't. No one knew about them until he went and did that thing he did.
I think
You know?
to answer about separating the art from the artist, though, there was I think so. When Martin Luther King gave his like speeches and stuff, you know, in the civil rights movement and stuff like that, his sound system was something that was funded by Bill Cosby. So the fact that he was able to give that speech in that movement was something that Bill Cosby was, you know, involved in. Is somewhat thankful, you know, somewhat thankful for. Does that taint what was able to come about because of Bill Cosby?
See, didn't know about it till you said.
Yeah, everyone should like watch Dave Chappelle. He's really cool.
I don't think it should taint that. I mean,
no, I don't think it should. I don't think it should. But then there are some art. There is some art where you feel like if by supporting them, if by supporting the artist, you're continuing to support their facilitate their lifestyle and
that's
the
true.
way they are.
That is true.
I
think.
Sorry, you go on.
Fuck. I guess like because as an example, I don't think Bill Cosby's getting any royalty checks from
no,
you know, from fucking sound engineer for Martin Luther King. I mean, maybe he is. Who knows? I don't know. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Jeff, what you got? Got any ideas?
Just thinking as well, because
I had something.
Let's say House of Cards. Kevin Spacey, those allegations came up. He said, "Oh yeah, and this is true." And he said the allegations were true, didn't he? And then he came out as gay, which that's another thing that just using gay as an exemption for being an offender.
Yeah.
Jethro is misunderstood.
Well, but does that affect the quality of something like House of Cards, or does it affect the context of which you look at American Beauty, where he has a thing for his 14-year-old daughter's best friend?
I don't think it should I don't think like it should like invalidate how someone responded to something. It can certainly invalidate the integrity of someone's character.
Okay, yeah.
But like the things they said, like once the words left their mouths and someone interpreted them, and you know, it's like Christianity. A lot of good stuff in Christianity. You know, should I not love thy neighbor just because I can also sell my daughter? You know, like
you don't have to accept things wholly. There are things.
Okay.
I wanted to say about accepting things wholly and like I don't know, good and evil, the concepts of good and bad, right? So the Me Too movement, right? Fantastic movement. Fucking it's helped so many people. And there's a lot of people that needed exposing, right? That Me Too movement, right, was I think that the motivation behind so Ronan Farrow was the guy who started it all off, Mia Farrow's son, and they really wanted to get Woody Allen on something, and this whole Me Too movement came from that, right? Woody Allen's still not been got by the Me Too thing, right?
What year was?
But the result is an amazing thing, but the motivation was something quite malevolent. But I'm glad we have it, but I don't know, like good and bad are so bad. Villains can do good things and enact change for the world.
So can heroes do bad things?
Definitely.
Can heroes do bad things? Well,
can a good person do something bad?
I don't know. It depends on it depends on how you define a hero.
Well, someone who's generally done things good but has done a misstep.
define bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you could say, oh yeah, well Hitler did a lot of things for animal rights, and he liked dogs, but that shouldn't
Yeah,
negate the whole everything else, should it? Keep talking about Hitler a
no,
lot in this episode, don't we?
he's a fascinating guy.
Yeah, meth head.
Meth head Hitler. I think depends on how bad the bad thing is. I mean, if Superman doesn't hold the elevator for a woman, I don't think that the lass is coming up, doesn't hold the elevator. I don't think that's that bad. But if Superman instigated a breach of the Capitol, then that's probably worse. That's probably worse.
Oh, that would never happen, though, would it?
That'd never happen. Come on. Come on now.
Come on, let's be sensible. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a matter of not really splitting people into good and bad people, but just good and bad actions.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible to really be on one side or the other. No bad person is bad the entire time, and in fact they're good to I don't know, the Krays off at the top of my head, they were really good to their family and the people who cared about them and stuff. And
so is Hitler redeemable?
Yeah. My connection is so shit, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
How well can you hear?
Did you actually hear the question that I asked?
About can I hear?
Because you enthusiastic.
No, that wasn't lag. That wasn't lag. That was me processing information and being an idiot.
No, you right afterwards said yes. Do you believe Hitler is redeemable?
Do I believe Hitler is redeemable? That's a loaded question.
You said yes to it because of your connection. So
I said yes. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Got bad news, guys. My internet connection's fine. I think Hitler. I don't. It might surprise you to know, but I don't actually think Hitler's redeemable.
Yeah, it comes to a point after somewhere before the 1 million mark, you think actually what I'm doing isn't that bad. But if you consciously carry on doing it, you're like, well, you're beyond saving at that point, and at that point you need to be removed, be dead or alive.
Definitely.
For the sake of people's welfare.
Eye for an eye.
No, not that, just for people's welfare. If someone in a position of power is not going to relinquish their power and is causing the deaths of thousands or millions of people, then it's do you therefore justify attempted assassination?
Oh yeah.
I think
was that an actual
definitely.
yes to the question, or was that delayed?
Yeah, I justify assassination.
Okay,
definitely. Straight up. I think we need more assassins.
Well, get your CV out. New job.
Yeah.
Assassin could be.
The Fine Cut podcast is recruiting.
The Wesley could be his next assassin. He just doesn't know it yet.
I want to be like a. What's the name of that woman from James Bond? The old lady, Judi Dench plays her.
M.
I want to be like M for assassins.
Do it.
That's
James Bond is an assassin.
Basically, Bill. James Bond, he basically is, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Timothy Dalton definitely was. I mean, Living Daylights and that. We weren't Rogue in License to Kill, but Living Daylights, he was basically get this sniper, shoot this woman, and he's like, okay.
He's got a license to kill. Her
Majesty's
Majesty's
license to
rabid
kill.
dog.
And you know I'm going straight for your heart. Sorry.
Ooh.
That
Copyright
was
strike.
fucking gorgeous. Excuse me. I think I need to go change my pants.
Put that voice clip over Wes's keyboard clip at the beginning of the episode.
Definitely.
We've got an intro.
Is that a James Bond soundtrack you were singing, Jethro?
Yeah, License to Kill.
License to Kill.
By Gladys Knight.
Yeah, we need a sexy silhouette of Wes
We
dancing.
do. Exactly. And with chords and stuff.
And cocaine, because there's a lot of cocaine in that film.
Like, there's just, cocaine. With me on coke, silhouette dancing. It's beautiful. I think I could be the next James Bond.
Do it.
Easy peasy.
Whenever the next one's going to come out, which I don't know, probably come out 2023 at this rate.
Yeah, probably.
Because 2022, that's the 60th anniversary.
Is it?
They're going to miss it.
Fuck. Oh, no.
Because they got the 50th, the 40th with Die Another Day. They missed the 30th. But they missed them all except Die Another Day and Skyfall.
Who knows? Maybe like all cinemas will be reduced to dust by then.
Yeah, Netflix will win the franchise wars.
And they'll start opening up these innovative new little screening hubs, events, if you will, wherein the films are displayed on a large screen in front of an audience when they're released.
Ooh.
It's a good idea.
Do you think it would catch on, though?
Not in today's climate. Definitely not. Not at all.
I do wonder though if cinema does survive, it will purely be for tradition's sake. Like I think it's much safer to release on streaming services. I don't know whether it costs a bit more.
Unless someone, I think you make less money because you're getting solely through subscription, aren't you?
Well, it depends on how much like the streaming service is willing to pay for acquiring your film. But
that's true.
You can market it in a sense, like putting it on the front pages of the streaming service, marketing it everywhere. I feel like it's a more guaranteed view than hoping someone decides to go out to the cinema to watch something rather than.
It is a guaranteed view, but a billion people watching the Avengers in a cinema is always going to make more money than a billion people watching it on a streaming service. That's the thing. But I guess the thing about putting a film in the cinema is you might not make that much money, which is probably scaring a lot of people off. Whereas at least streaming, it's guaranteed. Yeah.
You
guaranteed money.
Yourself a solid deal at the beginning.
I bet like films like The Jungle Book. That came. Not the old one, like they made a new one, didn't they?
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for watching Fine Cut Podcast. And as we said, Hayden should be with us next week. And thank you to our guests, Leon Grimes and Wesley G.
Did you just call me Leon Grimes?
That's your name, isn't it?